Welcome to Small Biz Mama, episode 4, thinking outside the box to get food to feed your family. So on my personal Facebook, I've been sharing a whole bunch of different resources for how to get groceries without going out. And I think Jeff and I have gotten pretty creative about where we're sourcing stuff from. So I actually had a couple of my friends that said, listen, could you do a podcast episode on how you're doing this? So I thought it'd be really useful right now because I'll tell you, so for the first so we're I think on week 5 of this at this point. Yeah, I think we're on week 5 of being home. And so we're really trying to limit our exposure going out because what we're trying to do is we're trying to close the loop so that Eric can go see his meme. So we're trying to set it up so that she doesn't go out for 2 weeks, we don't go out for 2 weeks, so that we can start seeing each other. And so that's what's closing the loop, right? So that means that we've got to find ways to get all of our groceries delivered and all of our stuff delivered so we don't have to go out and interact with other people. And so we're doing really, really good right now. I think we found reliable sourcing for pretty much everything that we need at this point. And so I'm going to share with you a ton of different resources. Most of them are national. Some of them are almost national. So you're going to have to check all these sources. But listen, you're going to want to go to smallbizmama.com and check out the show notes for episode 4 because I've got a whole bunch of links in here, and they're affiliate links. So I do get something back. Typically, it's like a credit that I can use at the store. But some of them, like if you use my link, you'll get 25% off, or you'll get $10 off your first order. And so a whole bunch of these links actually have some incentives for you if you use the links, and then they also help us as well. So smallbizmama.com, click on podcast, go to the show notes for episode 4. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some of the big ones first that you've probably heard of before, and then we're going to talk about some of the more creative ones. Now, not all of these are cheap, but I'm really trying to think outside the box, right? So if you want to source certain things, this may be a way that you can get stuff that people aren't really thinking about. Okay, so all right, so let's start with the big one. So most people have heard of Instacart before. Instacart is a service where you have access to a whole bunch of different stores depending on your area, and they'll shop for you and then deliver the groceries. Now, Instacart is really flooded right now. They're having some issues keeping their shoppers happy. There's so much demand, and so it's really tough to find spots. So what I found with Instacart is, build up your cart and then be flexible. So one thing I'm finding that Instacart is starting to do is they're starting to offer longer windows. So I just got a window for a warehouse club, and they do Costco, they do BJ's, they do most of the big grocery stores. So there's a lot of different places that Instacart will go for you. And it depends on your area, so you put in your zip code. So I just got a delivery from one of the warehouse clubs, or I booked a window, and it will come at some point within the next 5 days. I don't know when it's going to come, but it's not like we're going anywhere, right? And so most of the stuff I order is stuff that we're just trying to make sure that we've got, it's kind of supplementing other stuff. You need chicken nuggets for a toddler, or the world's going to come to an end. It's stuff like that. But so that'll be coming. Another service that's kind of similar to Instacart is called Shipt. And Shipt works with Target. So if you order anything from Target and it is on the it's same day delivery, that's Shipt. Okay. I do have a link for Shipt, and I know you get a special incentive if you click on my link in the show notes at smallbizmama.com. And Shipt is basically they're the same day provider for Target. They also do CVS. They do Petco in our area. And so again, you put in your zip code and it tells you what stores are available. Again, very difficult to find windows right now for that service. The next one that we use on a pretty regular basis is Amazon Prime. Some people call it Amazon Prime Now. When Amazon bought Whole Foods, right? Whole Foods kind of became the central distribution center for a lot of Amazon Prime Now. So I know, like, I've talked to a whole bunch of my friends. They're like, no, that's not in my area. And then I'll go put in their city and it is there. So if you don't think that this is in your area, recheck, okay? Because it may be in your area now. Again, this is, one of those that if you have Amazon Prime and you order more than $35, there's no delivery fee. You should tip. That's important. And I think a lot of people, they look at it and they're like, oh, that's Whole Foods, whole paycheck. But since Amazon bought Whole Foods, the prices have gone down a lot. And I'm actually finding that that's one of the better places to get produce if you can get a delivery window. So a friend of mine actually said that she checks, so you fill up your cart, with all these, you fill up your cart, and then what she'll do is she will check basically at between quarter of and the top of the hour. It seems to be when they release new windows. So you want to make sure your cart is full, and then you keep refreshing your window. I find it's good on your computer to do this. Just keep refreshing until hopefully a window will pop up. And usually what I'll do is I'll try for like 5 minutes and then I'll go off, and if I'm like on hold with somebody, or I'm waiting for something, or I'm doing a lot of continuing education right now because of all the new legislation coming out. I'll just sit there and I'll refresh a little bit, and then I'll pay attention to what I'm doing and I'll refresh a little bit. So, but that's kind of the strategy. Another service is Walmart. Walmart does drive up and delivery. I will tell you, when this all first started, I had an order with Walmart, and it was like 5 days out to get my delivery, and then they canceled my delivery. So, and a lot of I've also had an issue with Instacart as well. And it's funny because I booked another order with Instacart. Here's the thing. All of these services are getting pushed to the max. And so if you have a bad experience, yes, it sucks. It totally sucks. Trust me. I'm fighting over Instacart. I'm fighting with Instacart over like $70. I totally get it. But if this is something where you really don't want to go out, or you don't want to have to go in the store, you have to rely on these services. And unfortunately, they're all strapped right now, and they're all having trouble. And so the thing is, just stay on top of it. Make sure you check your orders, and just like be really vigilant. Okay. Okay. So those are kind of the big ones. And then I'm going to talk about kind of some alternative things that you might not know about. So one service that I really like is called Thrive Market. If you're looking for organic items or all natural items, Thrive Market is a great one. They do have an annual membership fee, but the prices are crazy low. And they actually say that they keep track of how much you save. And if you don't save at least the membership fee, with the membership fee is $5 a month. If you don't save that, then they actually give you a credit to use in the next year when you renew. They also have free memberships for various groups. So if you're low income, military or veteran, that's out. Actually, we got our membership because Jeff's a veteran. And it's fantastic. It's a great service. They are currently saying that they're having some delays for delivery. But you can get not only dry goods from them, but also they've got meat that you can order, and other things as well. So they have uh, a pretty robust um, offering on that one. So I kind of like that one. I just signed up. I haven't gotten my delivery yet, but I just signed up for another one called Imperfect Foods. Imperfect Foods, they're ugly fruits and vegetables. And so and it's weird because most people don't know this, but we have these standards in our country for what, a pepper needs to look like. You don't, like, if you've ever grown produce, you know that it's all kinds of funky shapes and things aren't straight. Like you grow cucumbers and they're all curly and um, they're curled over. And so, but those fruits and vegetables, like, they don't make the cut, right? So what we used to do is we used to throw a lot of that stuff away. A company like Imperfect Foods, they actually buy that produce at low cost and they resell it. So the thing that's really cool with them is you can get organic produce incredibly inexpensively. And the way the service works is it's almost like a share. You say, I'm looking for about this much produce. And then when the window opens for purchasing, which is, I think we're going to get ours on Tuesday and the window opens on Thursday before. And so they tell you what they're planning to put in your box. You can take things out, you can put other things in. And they also have meat and dairy. They have snack foods. And so that's, another really cool way to get groceries. And if you go to the show notes at smallbizmama.com, you will get, Imperfect Foods will give you $10 off your first order. And if you use my link for Thrive Market will give you 25% off your first order. So that's pretty cool. So there's lots of other services. It's funny because I've been kind of thinking about this. If you want meat, there's a whole bunch of services that have been out there for a while that we don't typically think of as like everyday things. So things like Butcher Box, which is a meat service. Omaha Steaks, I'm sure you've seen their advertisements. Again, Omaha Steaks isn't cheap, but the intro boxes are pretty affordable and they'll give you, something to start with. Honey baked ham, and they actually have ham and turkey and all sorts of other things. It's not just ham. We found a local meat service, which I absolutely love this. Like, one thing that this has really done for us is it's made us think about, where do we get our food from? What kind of food are we eating? And so I found a service called Walden Local Meats, and they're out of Massachusetts near Boston. And they service all of most of New England and New York. But what they do is they come out once a month and they deliver, you buy a share, which is like, you say, okay, we're going to buy, 10 to 11 pounds of meat. And you can be very specific about what you get. What we kind of do is we say, these are the things that we would eat, and then you guys pick. And so we got the first order we got country style pork ribs, and we'd never had them before. We'd always want to try them, but I would never buy them. And it was fantastic. It was great. The chicken was really good. The ground beef was really good. I've got like a couple small roasts. The eggs are fantastic. You can get eggs, you can get butter. They do sausages, and it's all grass-fed beef. It's really high quality chicken, and you can add additional things. So they kind of have specials that you can add to that. But it's really, really good meat. And I like the fact that we're supporting local farmers. So I think that's, again, as we're kind of thinking about this and making sure that these farms survive, right, that we can do that. So if you're not in the New England area, see if there are any local farmers that you can buy a share of a cow, or, a part of a pig, or they'll put together other boxes for you. Those are the kinds of things that that I think it's a lot easier, right? And you know that it's going to come, and you know that you're going to be able to feed your family, and those are the kind of things that make me feel really good. Um, there are all the meal kit services. It's funny because I saw one on a neighbor's doorstep when I was going for a walk, and I was like, I wouldn't have even thought of that. Blue Apron, Home Chef, Green Chef, HelloFresh, Gobble. Even it's funny, even Nutrisystem, and I would never eat Nutrisystem's food, but Nutrisystem is like they're starting to run commercials about feeding yourself, and you just have to heat it up and it comes to your door. You don't have to worry about getting food. And I'm like, it's not about losing weight, it's about making sure you're fed. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So all those different meal services, I mean, it's great because they're just gonna, you pick your meals, they send you the food. It is a little bit more expensive sometimes, but sometimes it's not. And if you're the kind of person that you want to try new things, you're tired of the same recipes all the time, you don't have to worry about where am I going to get my meat from and my produce from, because it all comes, in one box. That might be something that might work for you. The next one I think is really interesting. I have this whole list. I got an email from 7-Eleven saying that they will deliver. So think about some of your local convenience stores. Some of them are actually starting to deliver. Okay, so Cumberland Farms, 7-Eleven, think about those things. And if you're there, usually they have really good milk prices. So if you've got kids and you go through a lot of milk, and just if, you're kind of like at the end of your rope and you're like, listen, I really need bread and milk and eggs and I don't know where to get it from, 7-Eleven might actually be an option for you. You can sign up if you go to their website, you can sign up for their email list and see if they deliver in your area. Like I said, we're thinking outside the box here, folks. Okay. So one thing, and we've been using this a little bit lately too, if you're willing to do drive up, Target's drive up service is actually really good. The reason that I specifically listed this one is because the availability is fantastic. Typically you can do a drive up order and it'll be ready in 2 to 4 hours. So, if you're not having luck, getting, a traditional, a delivery slot, or like Walmart is packed, then try Target. Now, I don't know if it's just my Target or if it's all Targets, but you cannot do anything that's perishable. So no frozen, no bread, no milk, no eggs. But if you need chips and you need flour and you need, tomato sauce and spaghetti, that stuff they will do. And like I said, it's super quick and you can save your 5% with your red card. I also found too that if you put together an order that's at least $25, they will deliver non-perishable food as well. So that might be an option for you if you have a little bit longer timetable and you just want to make sure it comes. That's an option as well. The next couple, these are local ideas, and you're going to have to kind of do a little bit of digging in your area. So we just signed up for a CSA, which is a community supported agriculture. And what that is, there's a little bit of risk to this, because essentially what you're doing is you're pre-buying a share of the crop at a farm. But the one that we signed up for is really cool because they've got fruit and vegetables. And basically you're getting an entire summer worth of produce. For ours, it was a good chunk of money to come up with at one time, but it works out to be $36 a week. And what they'll do is they'll pack everything up for you, and then they'll put your box in your car. So I thought that was really, really neat. And kind of a good option, because again, this is really making me think okay, where's my food coming from? We also found a local dairy farm that delivers. So it's funny because I've seen a lot of people talk about like going back to the milkman with the glass bottles of milk. This farm does that. They bring your milk in glass bottles once a week. They do yogurt. Um, they do yogurt. They do flavored milks. They do regular milk. They do half and half. And they have lots of other, they have lots of other products that they offer. And so like the idea of this, like, right, just blows my mind. So we're actually on their waiting list right now. So hopefully, I think that's so cool. And another thing to look at is look at your local grocery stores. So like I know Kroger has its own program for grocery pickup. But even like some of your smaller like IGA grocery stores, I think the problem with a lot of these services is that they rely on you to go online, right, and create an order. One of our local grocery stores, they actually are allowing you to call up and put in an order. Now, because of that, they're slammed. Okay, they're super busy. But I think a lot of this, like when this is over, right, it's really good to know that all of these things exist, because if you've got elderly parents, if you've got somebody who's sick and you want to send them some food, you can use these services to do that. So I just think it's a really cool idea. So your local grocery stores may have other options. And then I think the last thing is connect with your local chamber of commerce. Make sure you're on their email list. Make sure if they have a Facebook page that you're connected to that, and also your local Facebook groups, because there are, at least in our area, and I'm sure that this is everywhere, but there are a lot of restaurants that are doing family meals that they will deliver, or that you can do curbside pickup, where for $20 or $25, you're getting a full meal, and the people that are ordering them are saying that like it is more food than your family can possibly eat at a meal. Like some of these families have 2 to 3 days worth of food. But you're getting a big tray of food. Sometimes they're doing like salad and bread. Like a lot of the Italian restaurants up here are doing stuff like that. And it's awesome. I've also heard of restaurants that, because they can order things, they're actually ordering supplies and putting together food boxes. So you can actually buy like a food box from a restaurant, which if you're a restaurant, that's a really cool thing to do, since you have access to all this stuff. And it's got like eggs, it might have some produce, some milk, some butter, but things that people need, right, that might be really hard to get at the grocery store. And it's like a standard box. Like, this is the box. This is what you get. You can't choose. This is it. But it's interesting how creative businesses are getting, right? So, if you have access to that type of supply chain, then it's pretty awesome to be able to do something like that and help people out, especially, like I said, especially for seniors, that they can call you up and say, yeah, bring me a box, and they know that they're going to have some eggs and some produce and milk and things that they need. It's awesome. So those are the sources that I have. Just be creative, think outside the box, think, what stores will deliver food that maybe I'm not thinking about. I've seen some specialty stores do it. I've seen some restaurants that are doing it. So really, think outside the box, think, what can I do? Where can I get food? Do a lot of Googling. That's how I put this list together. There's lots and lots of Googling. But I can't tell you how much peace of mind I have knowing that we have all of these sources, right, to get food from. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully it helps with your stress levels a little bit. And If you enjoy this episode, please make sure that you share it with your friends. It helps us when you share to find new listeners and help more people. And if I feel called to do anything during this, it's to help as many people and as many businesses as I can. So it would be great if you could share this out with people. It just helps us a lot. And also make sure that you subscribe wherever you're listening. So if it's on YouTube or iTunes, just hit the subscribe button so that you know when new episodes come out. And if you have sources, make sure that you let us know. You can go to smallbizmama.com and leave a comment on the post for this episode and share what sources are working for you. Because the only way that we're going to get through this is if we do it all together. All right, mamas. Mwah. I'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.